If you've ever wondered what it is about the Disney experience that makes it so magic that you're willing to pay a steep price to enjoy it, our guest today will give you some of the answers and will show you how you can apply it to your business or your management techniques. Hi, I'm Rick Kendall.
And I'm Fred Ball.
Welcome to Management Mastery. The purpose of these podcasts is to share what each of us has learned about good and bad management in our combined over 40 years of experience, both as managers and executive coaches. During that time, we've coached managers at every level in companies from Fortune 100s to brand new startups in all major businesses, including nonprofits, government, and education. So whether you're just starting in your first management position or are an experienced manager looking to strengthen your management skills, we know our podcast will be valuable to you. Our special guest today is Vance Morris. Briefly, Vance helps business owners get, serve, and keep clients for life through creating experiences and response-required marketing. In his own words, he is a former birth control factory security guard, turned Disney leader, turned bankrupt out-of-work executive, turned carpet cleaner, turned successful entrepreneur. If that doesn't give us plenty to talk about, I don't know what will. Vance, welcome to Management Mastery.
I appreciate it. Thank you, gentlemen.
In your book, Systematic Magic, 7 Key Magic Keys to Disnify Your Business, you talk very convincingly and based on your own experience about how rare it is to find customer service people who actively engage with their customers to create what you call experiences. Can you say more about what you mean by experiences and why you think businesses are not creating them?
For me, an experience is really any interaction you have with a company, and that's an opportunity for the business or the person, frontline person, to separate themselves from being viewed as a commodity, because I hate to tell you guys, we are all in commodity businesses. A dentist is a dentist is a dentist. There's only so many ways to clean teeth. And the only way to not be viewed as a commodity is through the experiences that you deliver. And I think that the reason that so many people, so many businesses are not delivering what I would consider an experience is, one, they don't know how. 2, they think it's expensive, which it certainly is not. You can deliver an expensive for zero cost. I got gobs of examples for you. And others, people think like, well, I won't be taken seriously. And that is so far from the truth. I mean, even if we leave Disney out of it, because they are, the masters at creating experiences, they're also masters at extracting money from your wallet and leaving you feel happy about it, and wanting you to do it again.
Yes.
Well, they are, but and when it comes down to it, though, is that once you start creating experiences for your clients, price resistance really melts away, and price becomes irrelevant. I mean, if you went to your local county fair, you'd probably pay like $20 and you could ride the rides all night long. You're on the rickety old little roller coaster, the Tilt-A-Whirl or whatever, and it's run by a whole bunch of ex-cons or current cons, and half of the fun is wondering whether the ride's going to collapse or not. And that's $20. And then, the next tier up is probably like a Six Flags or, one of those adventure places, and they have all the thrill rides. It's probably like $65, $70 to get in for the day. And there could be an argument that is 3 or 4x times better or more thrilling than the county fair. But then you get to Disney, and it's $180 to get in for the day. Now, is Disney 9 times better, 9x better than the county fair, or 3x better than like a Six Flags or a Great Adventure? Well, on the surface, I would say no. I mean, Disney's rides are not exciting. I mean, if you took away all of the music and the theater and the animatronics, It's a Small World is a really boring ride. You just sit in that darn boat, and it's like a canoe. You go in a big circle, you get out. There's no excitement there. But Disney's found a way to create experiences around all of that stuff. And in addition to the attractions, that's what they call them, you have cast members, not employees, that are there to create the magic through clean parks, through people being what they call aggressively friendly. All of their attractions are based on stories. And so Disney gets this price elasticity. People go, and so, yes, the experience is probably 9 or 10x more than the county fair. I mean, you don't take, if grandma's getting ready to keel over, you don't take her to the county fair to take pictures. You take grandma to Disney and you plop her in a wheelchair and you wheel her all around Disney, and the whole family takes pictures with her, for the entire trip so that they have memories. Yeah. So when you're talking experiences, you want to look at it, one, that it separates you from everybody else, but two, you do it so that you can make a profit.
Yeah, you talk in your book, just to follow on that, you bring it down to the clerk behind the cash register and how they dropped the ball there. Can you just talk a little bit about that level of experience?
Sure, and it is the Main Street businesses, the mom and pop businesses. One, I think there's a lack of training because it is. And it's very apparent. I mean, a real quick example, my daughter and I were on a college road trip touring a couple of weeks ago, and we went to one of those national sandwich shops, and we were walking up to the front door, and outside the door was an employee of the sandwich shop smoking a cigarette, talking to somebody else, and we're getting ready to walk up to the front door. Then she yells at us, "Sorry, we're out of bread. It's going to be another 20 minutes. And I'm thinking to myself, how can a sandwich shop be out of bread? Well, I mean, that's my first instinct. And we're like, all right, great. So I'm irritated, and we're going to go somewhere else. But had that employee been trained on guest recovery, service recovery, there were a whole bunch of things she could have done except yell at us for the fact that she didn't have bread. She could have said, well, we don't have any bread left. I mean, and it's like 12:15. How do you run out of bread? At any rate, she can say, well, we have wraps. Maybe I could offer you a wrap, and I'd be more than happy to give you, a 20% discount on a wrap. Or, hey, here are some coupons for the next time you're visiting one of our stores. Or, hey, if you don't mind waiting, we'll make the bread will be fresh, and here's a bag of chips and a soda while you're waiting, and I'll give you some free cookies, at the end, just for your time. Any one of those would have been a great gesture from the person behind the counter, and would have shown that they were genuine in trying to provide some level of service. But she didn't get trained. I don't blame her. I mean, yes, she was the one there, but I don't blame her. I blame the management. I blame the leadership for not training and not giving a level of authority to be able to take care of a situation like that.
Vance, why do you think that's the case? That lack of training?
I think a lot of leaders assume things, especially at minimum wage jobs. They just assume that the employees know what to do. Now, they train you, let's go back to our sandwich shop. They train you on how to make the sandwich, all of the different types of sandwiches. They train you how to, make the drinks or what have you. They don't train you on how to be nice. They don't train you on what to do if a guest is upset. They don't give you the parameters So, like, I work a lot in the orthodontist and dental field, and if you know, most medical practices, for some ungodly reason, the doctor is always late. Even the first appointment of the day, he somehow manages to be late. So when I'm working with them, I usually work with the front desk people, and this is what we would call anticipatory service. So we're anticipating that the doctor is going to be late. So I work with the front desk team, and we give them some authority. We give them some latitude on how to take care of this. And it usually looks like this. So, a patient will walk in. She goes to see Marge at the front desk, and Marge will look up and say, hi, what's your name? Okay, my name's Sally. The doctor's running a few minutes late, so sorry. And, now Sally's irritated. After we work together, Marge at the front desk is now armed with $5 coffee coupons, $5 coupons at a local coffee house. And instead of just saying, whoops, sorry, the doc's late, now we say, hey, Dr. Smith is running a few minutes behind. What else is new? But your time is valuable to us. Here's a coupon for some coffee down at the local coffee house. We value your time. Please enjoy a cup of coffee on us. So we're anticipating and we're interrupting that pattern. Now, here's the killer thing. We go to do a financial meeting at the end of the month, and under promotion, when we're looking at the P&L, there's a line for promotions, and it's like $3,000. And the dentist is like, what is this? And I look them straight in the eye, and I say, look, if you divide 3,000 by 5, that was the number of times you were late last month. Fixes his behavior immediately, but it transmits to the patients that, hey, we understand we got a problem. The doc's always late. We feel bad. We want to make sure that you understand we want to do the right thing for you.
Vance, it's Fred. When we spoke earlier, one of the examples that you gave us that really stuck with me was when you were doing the Mickey restaurant at the Contemporary, and you had to get your support staff to understand what the frontline people were doing and the problems that you had in getting Mickey around. Could you talk about that?
Sure. I think it starts with our mission, which every business needs to have a mission. And your mission needs to be bigger than your job. And I'm not talking about a mission statement, because most businesses I work with, they say they have a mission statement, but nobody knows what the hell it is. So, I'll walk into a business and I'll ask Marge at the front desk, hey, what's your mission here? And she does like this giant ostrich hen-pecking thing going around my head because it's on the wall behind me, but she can't see it to read it. And it's true. And I'm like, well, that's not a mission statement. If nobody knows, even the doctor doesn't remember what it is because he wrote it 20 years ago. So it's useless. But you want to have a mission because that is what's going to drive your organization, for the foreseeable future. So when we were designing and developing Chef Mickey's, which was a character dining destination at Walt Disney World, our mission, our direction was that we had to get Mickey Mouse through 400 seats, because that's how big the restaurant was, in 43 minutes, and make it feel like it was a great time. So we had 400 seats, 43 minutes, because if any of you have ever worked in a restaurant, you'll know that a table for two dines fairly quickly. In our restaurant, 43 minutes was about the average. And of course, we needed it to be fun. We didn't want them to feel rushed or anything like that. And we knew we couldn't do this just by ourselves. And certainly, it wasn't managers or executives that were going to solve this problem. We had to go to our different teams. So we brought in all of the different teams from within the restaurant and from within the entire resort. So we went to the bus boys, and we asked the bus boys to say, hey, look, we got 400 seats, 43 minutes, mouse has to get through. What can you do to help get the mouse through? And, they thought about it and they said, look, we've got all this stuff on the tables. We've got a sugar boat. We've got, salt and pepper shakers and, creamers and all this stuff. And it takes time for us to get that off the table so that we can clean it and reset it. They said, look, if we had this little basket and everything was in the basket, it wouldn't take us any time. We just lift the basket up, wipe the table, put the basket back down. Okay, great. So we got the busboys a little basket for each table. I don't know, probably shaved 7 or 8 seconds off of, turning that table. But when you multiply it by 60 tables, 70 tables, well, those seconds start to add up. And we did that with every department. We brought in the entertainment department from the Magic Kingdom and said, look, the mouse always gets stuck when somebody's having a birthday or a bar mitzvah or a wedding or something. And when the mouse gets stuck, he doesn't move. So we need some kind of celebration that we can do with frequency. So wherever the mouse is, that's where he celebrates. So we came up with a celebration song, and every 43 minutes, the whole restaurant does the celebration so that the mouse doesn't get stuck at somebody's, bar mitzvah or whatever. And we did that with the one that was great. I don't know if I told you this one. They've been in the parks all day. They're sunburned, they're malnourished, they're dehydrated, and now they're just shoving, I don't know how many kilograms of sugar into their stomach. Some kid's going to get sick. So, in the dining room, we got to go back to our mission. Everybody is focused on the mouse. 43 minutes, 400 seats, good time. If we had to take anybody from our restaurant to stop and clean up the puke, for lack of a better word, our mission would get discombobulated. We'd be off track, and that would foul up the restaurant, and people would get irritated. So we got with the housekeeping department, and I will never forget the conversation. We were in an executive team meeting. I had already cleared it with my boss. I said, I went to Mr. Executive Housekeeper. We're experts in serving food and serving drinks. We're not really good at cleaning things. Would you agree? And he kind of looks at me. Yeah, I guess so. I said, well, since you agree, if we ever have a problem in the dining room where somebody gets sick, can we have a hotline to the housekeeping department and you send somebody up to clean it up so that, we can keep our 43 minutes, 400 seats mouse thing? And he kind of starts looking at me, shaking his head no. And then my boss says, oh, just do it. You're going to do it. So we even went outside of our restaurant to get other people. That's how powerful our mission was, is that we got other departments to help us maintain the mission.
Got it. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Why do you think more owners and managers aren't doing this now?
They're not thinking about it. It's not small businesses. They are probably more worried about doing the job than thinking about ways either to A, make the job easier, B, growing the business, or making it more a seamless experience. They're just trying to get through the day.
Right.
And they're, and they don't I don't want to say I had the luxury of working at Disney for 10 years, which I did, because I took everything that I learned at Disney and I put it into, I run a carpet cleaning business. And I'm like, if I can Disnify, that's the word I use, if I can Disnify a carpet cleaning business, there isn't a business out there that this can't work in. And you just have to take a moment and just find one thing. This is my challenge that I give to everybody, whether they're a client, a coaching member, or just even on a podcast like this. Find one thing in your business that's going to give you the most value, the most return, and just focus on that one thing for a little while, whether it be answering the telephone. How can you make an experience out of answering the telephone? Do you answer the phone live? If you want to be number one in your industry, in your town, answer the phone live.
That's brilliant.
Nobody does it anymore. Nobody does it anymore. Yeah. Nobody. You're lucky to get voicemail. The worst thing is you get that darn phone tree, press 1 for this and 2 for that. And I'm like, oh dear God, and you can't even press 0 100 times anymore like you could 10 years ago. 0 doesn't even do anything because they all figured out that game. But answer the phone live. So I'm a partner in the call center. And when we were doing our research on it, we called 4,000 home service businesses across the U.S. And we got the numbers off of Google. So these are all Google ads, pay-per-click ads that were calling the phone number. 17% answered the phone live.
Wow.
That's it. 17%. That means that the 83% are giving Google money freely and not getting any return on it because they ain't answering the phone.
Right.
Yep.
Well, Vance, this has been great. We really have learned a lot, and hopefully our listeners have too.
In our next episode, we'll talk to Vance about how to more efficiently promote and market your small business, but also techniques that you can apply even to marketing your department within a larger company. We hope you have found this podcast useful and will come back again for more management mastery. If you have any comments about this or any of our episodes, or would like to find out more about our other services, including one-on-one coaching and group seminars for managers, visit our website at careercoachclass.com. Thanks for listening.